Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. It's Friday, March 10th. We got some catching up to do. I want to talk about what's going on in the banking sector, and then we'll get to individual stocks. But man, this is shades of 2009. We didn't talk about this yesterday. Silicon Valley Bank. Let me just start at the beginning. First, it was Silvergate SI that was down significantly. This is the first bank that started some fears about, hey, can we get something like 2009 again? And this happened because of what happened with FTX and Bitcoin, with Bitcoin dropping. So then it started Silvergate. Then it spread to Signature Bank. Okay, Signature Bank, SBNY, had some exposure to what was going on at Silvergate and crypto. So you can see they got hurt pretty bad, 352 now all the way down to 83. Recently, 130 now down to 83. Now, what happened yesterday, last year, is with Signature Bank, is a little bit different. Not related to crypto, but it sure as heck looks like contagion, right? Sure as heck looks like that for people who live like through 2009, which I did, right? First it was Bear Stearns, and then eventually it was Lehman. And I remember everyone always made excuses. Oh, this bank is different than that bank. It's not going to spread. This is a unique situation. And eventually it spread, right? And it was like a domino effect. So people are worried about that. Now, Silicon Valley Bank is a bank for startups. So they had an issue with venture capital money and startups losing money and startups running out of cash, right? So their deposits were going down. They had unrealized losses on the bonds that they're holding because yields keep going up. So the bonds are going down. So they have these big unrealized losses. And that's not a problem if your deposits are strong. You don't need to sell those bonds and take those losses. But in this case, deposits were going lower and lower. And they had to sell those bonds, take a huge loss, and raise a lot of money through equity. And now you're getting a run on the bank because Y Combinator, which is basically like the place for startups and entrepreneurs, which directs people to use Silicon Valley Bank, they're telling people to take their money out of Silicon Valley Bank. So there's quite literally a run on the bank right now, and it's not clear if they're going to survive. Second here, just background. So right now the stock is it's not $61, it's $39, right? This is a late print or something it's showing over here. It was about $40, and it halted. And I don't even see news of why it's halted or what's going on, but certainly people are worried, and this spread into the whole banking sector. And I think this could have legs, right? I'm not playing anything. I'm not doing it, but I'm just letting you know through my experience in 2009, there's going to be a lot of people like me who are fearful. Back in 2009, the play was FAZ and SKF, and these were tradable. These are leveraged ETFs, shorting financials. You can see how it's blown up. So, and these were like people were trading this for months, making great money on FAZ and SKF. All right, I'm not advocating you should do that, but I'm just saying this is how you keep an eye on it. And if you want to short banks, that's how you do it. XLF is the ETF for the financial sector. And of course, we have our eyes on Credit Suisse, which is the biggest bank that's been under distress this year. So lots of different banks for different reasons, right? Whether it's Credit Suisse or Silicon Valley Bank or Silvergate, they all have a different reason for why they're going down. But broadly, it's related to rates going up, and that's a commonality. And that's why you can't dismiss, maybe it's not a contagion, it's not a domino effect throughout these four banks because maybe they're not so linked to each other, but they are linked to the same reason, the macro reason of rates going up, causing Bitcoin to crash, causing, in the case of Silicon Valley, causing startups to do poorly, right? In the case of Credit Suisse, I don't know exactly what they mismanaged there, but people started taking their money out because of poor economic situations. So it looks like contagion, even though maybe it's not technically contagion. And so this is definitely a worry. Now, this morning, you can see things are bouncing up because there was a weak wage numbers, which is people saying bad news is good news as far as rates, and rate expectations quickly went down. The chances of 50 basis point hike quickly went down this morning. You can see UUP dropping, TLT up. So right now, this market is impossible to trade right now. If you're trading macro and indices, impossible to trade in my view, especially day trading and intraday trading. If you're swing trading it, it's more possible if you look at those moving averages, right? But right now, everything is really headline driven. Everyone's scared. As I said, if you look at the key moving averages, you can swing it, but man, you better not just don't be at your desk throughout the whole day, because the volatility can shake you out of your position if you are swing trading around these key moving averages. Right now, SPY below the 200 DMA, it's a little bit dangerous. Let's see, QQQ is hanging in there between the key moving averages. So I don't know, man. All I can tell you is I had said this in the past, right? That the first phase was to get rid of the COVID excess liquidity, which was mostly done with the NASDAQ, but not completely, right? On individual stocks other than the mega caps, it was really achieved. But then the next phase, if you are going to have a recession, is to go down from there, right? We always talk about the weekly moving average. It's a good time to remind you of that conversation here. So this 200-week moving average is a long-term bull line. As long as you're above it, all you're doing is having a correction. This is not a bear market. This is a correction from this massive move we had up. And that's really all we've had so far when it comes to QQQ and SPY. I know individual stocks is a lot of them well below the 200-week moving average. But as far as the major indices, this is just a correction. So now the risk is, are we going to have a recession? And if we do, that'll reflect by the SPY and QQQ breaking this 200-week moving average. And history tells us if you break that 200-week moving average, except for the COVID flash crash, in every other instance, you're in a bear market for a couple years. So that's the risk on SPY QQQ. We haven't had that conversation in a long time, but now we got to have it. Below that 200-week moving average, if you have further contagion in the banking sector and you have something like 2009 playing out, then you can possibly quickly get to and break the 200-week moving average in the major indices. Okay, so let's move on to specific stocks. We're going to have Vegas joining us at 9:15, so we got 8 minutes. Actually, we don't have a lot of news to talk about this morning. We can talk about some of the earnings yesterday, but as far as news this morning, one big one, Birds has been on our watch list. Bird Global, it's an EV scooter company, BRDS. We've had this since, I don't know, it was since the war broke out and oil was getting really expensive. I think that was the trigger for us to get this on our watch list. That people are like, people aren't going to drive anymore. They're going to use their scooters. Was that it? Or was it COVID? I don't remember. But for one reason or another, this ended up on our watch list. We did some early due diligence on it. And it's been just crashing down like a gazillion percent here. A former spec, $10 to 20 cents. Now this morning, this really caught my eye. Sales 70 million beats 53 million estimate. Not only that, adjusted EBITDA 2023 15 to 20 million. If you go into the report, it says new 2023 guidance, new 2023 guidance. Positive cash flow of 5 to 10 million. Positive cash flow, not just adjusted EBITDA, but the bottom line, right? Positive. Okay, if you go down further, it says that they're going to get to their adjusted EBITDA profitability in Q2 of this year. Q2 starts in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. Okay. So they're guiding for like an immediate flip to profitability for the whole year, cash flow positive for the full year, a revenue run rate of what looks like a 280 million with a market cap of 57 million. Are you kidding me? I don't know. I jumped on this at between 18 and 20 cents, and I just added a little bit more at 22 cents. Now, given recent experience and the market conditions, I am not going all out in terms of my size because, quite honestly, I've gotten killed on a couple moves recently. LLAP, which I went in big at 3.30, and I'm still holding it now to $2. And XXII, I added more at $1 last Friday after hours when they had that financing news, and now it's 84 cents. So I've had some recent big pain in some big positions I've taken. So I'm not in a huge risk-taking kind of mode right now. So smaller size than I otherwise would have. And of course, the market's acting crazy. Like, for example, DRIO, I thought had a great report yesterday. It was up 10% in the morning and it closed down 10%. Like this, the price action yesterday on DRIO and a few others really, to me, started looking like a liquidation type thing. Like margin calls were hitting different parts of the market. And that makes sense on a day when, Silicon Valley Bank was imploding, right? You're going to see these weird price actions happening, these weird things happening, dislocations in different stocks, different areas of the market. And I think it's a possibility that maybe that's what happened with DRIO. Okay. Not to say there was no bear case or no negative things on the conference call. It wasn't a 100% perfect conference call. There were some things, a couple things you could say, hey, maybe this leads to a negative sentiment. But overall, they beat on revenue, they beat on earnings. They had really good guidance in terms of new insurers coming. There was something about employers, some questions about employers in there, I think. But in any case, to see that type of price action on a day when Silicon Valley Bank was doing what they're doing, and I'm thinking it's possible someone got a margin call, right? Somewhere, someone along the line getting squeezed in a bad way, right? Because what's going on with the liquidations around the market, and that maybe, and I've seen other stocks yesterday were acting really weird like that. So, but anyway, I've gotten hurt now with DRIO and XXII and LLAP. Not gonna lie, right? Not having a good few weeks because of those three stocks. The morning show trading that we do, I don't do much of it actually. Like we've had great success. Mostly Yosef has been implementing that through the process we've created for him, which is very successful. But me personally, I'm like 80-90% like holding stocks I love, even in my trade account. So that's going to change. That's going to change because I see what's working in this market is trading actively, almost like day trading. The catalyst for the day does much, much better than like holding these companies we love that we hope will flip the profitability. That's not working right now. So as a result, I'm going to be moving all of my trade money into the new hedge fund we've been talking about when it opens, and that's going to be very soon. So in any case, yes, a long way of saying I've been burned recently on these DRIO, XXII, LLAP, so I didn't take a huge risk in BRDS, but that news looks awesome to me, and hoping that we're going to take the collaboration up to the next level. 1 second. I forgot to send the link here to Vegas. Here we go. Okay. So now we got the link going to Vegas. It'll be here in a few minutes. But yeah, let's hope we get the collaboration on birds. Maybe there's something there today. You never know. All right. This could be the type of stock. First of all, look at the resistance levels here. Right there, we're on the first one, 50 DMA. The next one's all the way here at 38 cents. Okay. I think this is the type. No, there's another one at 30 cents. I'm sorry. 30 cents. So right now, 22 cents, 30 cents, 38 cents. Those are the three resistance levels on BRDS. And this is the type of news that can cause like 100% move. I think. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, and we have to see. All right. Aside from that, XXII, we had an analyst come out lower price target from $4 to $3. That's why you're seeing the pressure in the stock this morning. XXII will be signing 7-Eleven, it sounds like, very soon. That's going to be a catalyst for me to sell some. So I'm not going to, they're not at that inflection point yet, right? It was a good earnings call, but they're not at the inflection point yet. Even when they sign 7-Eleven, it's not going to be the inflection point. It'll be a great catalyst, maybe up 40% on that news, and I'll be selling some when they announce 7-Eleven, hopefully in a few days, okay? LLAP, so this one, thesis is still good. Hold on. Let's make sure. Okay. Let's make sure Vegas can get in. Just having a little technical difficulty. Thesis is still the same. Support here is the 50 DMA at about 195. Maybe psychological at 2, but that 50 DMA at 195. Man, I think it's going to hold there. But if you do a complete gap fill, then what's the gap fill here? 171. I have a hard time believing that's going to happen. I'm holding the line. Trust our research, and sometimes you got to go through some pain before you get the big win. That's an LLAP. Let's see anything else. ACHR. We had this as a trade yesterday. It was about flat. I got out actually with like a 2-cent loss on that. Then they had earnings last night. Haven't had a chance to look at these earnings, so I'm not going to have an opinion on which way it goes. Just letting you know those earnings are out there. They had a piece of good news yesterday morning, and they're maybe bouncing off the 20 DMA ACHR, so that's something you can take a look at. And SMSI had their earnings call last night. I'm not into it. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not impressed after that bad news of losing a customer. I don't care what the financials are and what the valuation is. Sentiment to me is not good now, and I'm going to avoid this stock until sentiment improves. Okay, and with that, we're going to bring on Vegas. Haven't seen her in a while, so excited to have her back. Let's play that special music we got for her. Where is it at? Here it is. Vegas.
Good morning. How's everyone doing?
I think everyone is having a hard time right now with this crazy volatility, with what's going on with Silicon Valley Bank, up and down. The market's whipsawing based on every headline. It's a tough market. So tell us, do you have conviction in any direction in this crazy market, Vegas?
Well, you always have to, you and I talk about this. You just got to trade what you see, not what you think, because yesterday I was in calls in the morning, and then around 12:30, 12:45, I had to switch and go into puts because I was like, holy crap, what the hell is going on? Everything was just selling. I had to switch sides, close out the calls, flip into puts. I mean, I could have just sat there and stare at it, but, I had to take action because if not, I had to, be bleeding here. I have to hedge the bleeding. So that was not fun. But, being in puts sometimes can be very rewarding because they move so fast. You just got to lock in the money. So SIVB, what a shame. Would have loved to have traded that yesterday on puts, but I didn't notice it till later in the day. And someone in my room had mentioned SIVB, but I didn't even notice the comment. And I mean, I saw contracts in the morning. I mean, when I looked at it in the afternoon, the ones I looked at, they were 5 cents and they went to $30.
Oh my gosh, that's
so
crazy.
Can you imagine $5 turn into $3,000 each?
Crazy.
I mean, I would have bought 100 for sure, but and what can you do? So let's talk about the markets, what I'm looking at today, because today's Friday, and usually, Friday, I usually like to do same day expiry, or if I trade the ETFs, if I don't want to do same day, I will do the ones that expire on Monday. So for SPY in particular, looking for a break over 391.25. I think we can head towards potential 396. So we really got to watch the SPY today. It is looking like it is bullish this morning. We had the non-farm payroll numbers come in. So that is a level that needs to be watched. And 391.25 bulls hold the line. If it breaks under 388.50, then it's not going to look too cute. So that's going to be the levels today. So if it gets over 391.25, which it was doing earlier, I'm definitely going to go into option calls on SPY. And if I do same day, I'm going to do in the money because, I got in the same day, you got to be in the money or as close to the money as possible, because you just don't have theta as your enemy and you just don't have time. So we'll see if those are worth trading. In terms of other stocks to watch, I'm definitely going to be watching TSM, the Taiwan Semiconductor. That one there looks good here if it breaks 88.84. So it's currently around 88.22 and has room to $90. So I'm looking at 90, maybe 90.40, looking to trade that. And then the other one that's been really strong in the market this week has been AMD. Okay, Lisa Su's company. And AMD has been really strong, and if it breaks 85.29, this has room to $88. So I'm definitely going to be watching AMD because it's been super strong. Funny enough, I charted Apple and Meta. They're really strong weekly charts too. So I mean, those are still ones to keep a watch on. But anything's possible in the market. Can we have a bull and then a pullback? I mean, anything's possible. But for Meta, keep a watch over 184.25. If it does break that level, then it is bullish. So gave you guys a couple trades here this morning, but my main focus will be the SPY over that level that I mentioned, 391.25. And I'm watching AMD over 85.29. And I will be also watching, I mean, I have a big list, but I'm just keep narrowing it down to AMD and SPY. And I'm also going to watch NVIDIA. I mean, if NVIDIA gets over 238, could see a move there. By the way, did you talk about Oracle earnings or no?
No, I did not.
Okay, so Oracle, had the earnings. There was another one. Oh, DOCU. Have you seen DOCU? How it pulled back so much?
I did saw the DOCU and I saw the pullback. Yep. Wow, look at that. Down 14%.
So definitely gonna watch DOCU for a reversal, and just in it because it's had a nice flush this morning. So I'm definitely gonna watch DOCU if it reverses, and if it does get over 57.50, then I'm gonna go into some calls, same day expiry. But it has to break 57.50. It would have room towards 60, and if it did break 60, which is the retrace of the 4 EMA, then it could go to 62. again, 5750 has to break, or just, no trade, no confirmation, no trade.
Oh.
So we'll see what the market does. Prepared for anything and everything, and just got to really trade safe and watch the position sizes, because yesterday we obviously saw a bull trap, and we could see here that we have had a big move down yesterday, and we did see on the ES futures that is putting a nice hammer candle to start the day. So some people might be a little hesitant to go long on anything, because we had quite the pullback yesterday, but we'll definitely have to see what the market's going to do, and we would need to see the ES hold above 39.61 to accept the opening price. And then we'll see if there'll be any kind of continuation to a move higher in the market. Just got to be very cautious on size. And, we don't want to see like a rally where it could just set a lower high and then a dump, right?
Yep.
So we just got to watch that. So we'll see how the market does. Obviously, a bit of a tougher day because of the volatility that we're seeing in the market. So just, caution on trade size down, be safe, and you want to enjoy the weekend. I don't want to be into all these trades, and then I'm like, holy crap, lost so much money, and then my weekend is like depressing. Nobody likes to go into the weekend with big losses. So just size, again, comes down to size. Size does matter, because if the trade doesn't work, it's a small loss. So just remember, to be cautious and watch size and trade safe. And you know what, there's nothing wrong sometimes to actually, when the market is like this, don't trade. Just sit and observe. What, but sometimes better to not make money, but then again, you didn't lose money, so actually that was a good day, because capital preservation is so important. So we'll see what the market's going to do with us today. But my top watch, as I mentioned, SPY over 391.25, definitely watching TSM over 88.84, and AMD over 85.29. So I'll be watching those three in particular. I'll see if they trigger. If they trigger, I'll go long into some calls and then play it out from there. If not, then I won't trade them. So we'll see. I'll trade SPY puts though if it gets under 388.50. So we'll see how that plays out.
Sounds good. I forgot to mention Tesla. We've been watching this for a few weeks. We sold this over 200. I've been looking at 50 DMA support. That's near. I might take a trade there. I know you only got 1 minute left. I just want to let you know also, you like your penny stocks sometimes. You miss it at the top of the show. BRDS, they had earnings, which were a crush job, man. The revenue, complete blowout. They're flipping to profitability. They're trading at a fraction of the revenue right now. They're imminently flipping to profitability in Q2. Really explosive report. This one, you never know.
Yeah, you just never know. BRDS. And speaking of Tesla, if it does get over 180, then I will consider calls, but it has to get over 180. So I'm not trading it at all until it gets over 180.
All right. Sounds good, folks. You can follow Vegas at I Love Stocks One on Twitter. And do you have, I don't know if you have it set up yet, but we're trying to get a link or something for people to join your community.
I'll send it over to you this weekend. So if anyone wants to come into my community as well, and we're cross-sharing each other's communities because everyone has different trading styles. So happy to send people to StoryTrading. I've had a few actually come by StoryTrading. So happy to cross-share content and looking to help people learn different kinds of styles of trading. Whatever works for you. So look forward to cross sharing, and look forward to everyone's success in the trading community.
Sounds great. Have a great day. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Bye-bye.